We earn money, save money and buy things. Living beyond the economic cycle is impossible. What trends are dictated by world markets and how does it affect consumers? Watch it in People and Economy. In this program we shall tell you who does develop street workout in Kazakhstan and why. Why popularization of mass sports has become one of the main goals of the state. And how much do organizers of international competitions earn? Valentin Lovetsky always loved sports, led a healthy life and practiced professional taekwondo. But 5 years ago he had to quit his training due to the knee injury. Valentin underwent an operation which did not allow him to do the beloved sport. Doctors told me that I had a torn meniscus and that I needed an operation. However, my friend, a doctor, cured me with his remedies. I started to train with him on a chin-up bar which we made in our garden. In addition, we analyzed a lot of proper video materials which at that time were available in the internet. In such a way, Valentin discovered workout, an interesting and to some extent extreme sport. It does not require the usage of expensive fitness equipment and gym membership. This is a street sport available to anyone. It implies trainings by applying your own weight. In Kazakhstan, it is an official sport. Competitions are held in different parts of the country. The most interesting is that people of different ages and at any time of year can do this sport and participate in competitions. Nowadays, Valentin works and continues to train. He's a manager on weekdays and workouter on weekends. He believes that young people need comprehensive development. Therefore, his activity timetable does not prevent him at all from obtaining success in his beloved sport. The only problem was the absence of sport grounds with chin-up bars from the beginning. But Valentin and his team solved this problem. We started to construct sports grounds and seeking for sponsors, and within 5 years we achieved good results. How did workouters of Kazakhstan unite? Valentin and his team were not going to focus only on Almaty and began to search followers throughout the country. Together they founded the Workout Federation. Now the athletes defend the honor of their country at international competitions. The workouters also have the common goal to tear teenagers away from gadgets and computers and encourage them to do this sport. After founding of our federation, we could implement these goals, and we have a lot of goals. They visit boarding schools, schools and universities with special programs. Many children in these institutions did not even know about this sport. When we open new sports grounds, children come to us and then tell about that other children. Street workout unites more and more people. Valentin notes with genuine pleasure that their team consists of many youngsters. The youngest team member is only 16 years old. It is worthy of note that girls at sports grounds are not an exception and they are almost as strong as boys. Our team member Ekaterina Yevtushenko is a mother of two and strong supporter of healthy way of life. We are very glad to see her with us because she encourages all the girls to go in for sports. She can do a lot of exercises. You can see it just now. These sports grounds differ from those which were here several years ago. Earlier, Valentin and his team trained in all sorts of places. Now they do it on specially equipped areas and what is the most important, absolutely for free. This sports ground was built 2 years ago. Now I'd like to show you the equipment and how you can do exercises. Behind me there is a combination of 4 chin-up bars, a pipe coil and wall bar. On the right you can see bars and benches. On the left there are stands, stand supports and chin-up bars. It is very important that you can do push-ups at different angles. You can also see parallel bars and monkey ladders for children and adults of different ages and heights. Sports are not only an aspiration to health, but a certain lifestyle. In Kazakhstan, there are about 4 million amateur sportsmen. It is more than 20% of the country's population. Experts forecast that this number will be growing from year to year and within 5 years will reach 30%. People have changed their attitude to physical training. They understand that sports are health. Of course, sports at a higher level from the image of our state. Thanks to our outstanding athletes who raise the flag of our country, Kazakhstan becomes well known all over the world. So I think that we work in a good directed manner. There are more than 4,000 different fitness clubs in Kazakhstan. The cost of classes depends on the institution's status. The price of a gym membership varies between 10 and 20,000 tenge. However, in order to be in good shape, there is no need to visit gyms. There will be enough to walk more, ride a bicycle and go jogging. A lot of sporting events are held in Kazakhstan every year. Among the most popular are marathons and bike rides. Thousands of people go to the streets and cover long distances. According to the statistics, about 25% of the local population goes in for sports. Notably, the majority of our citizens prefer wrestling, box and jogging.
Школа боксерская.
I think that our boxing school is one of the strongest in the world. Weightlifting is another sport which allows us to compete in the international arena. Perhaps you remember that during the last Olympic Games, our weightlifters won 4 gold medals.
Составлять конкуренцию.
Currently, 93,000 specialized sports clubs are working in Kazakhstan. They are visited by more than 4 million people. Of them, more than 1.5 million live in the country. Popularization of mass sports is one of the main goals in Kazakhstan. To implement them, the physical training and sports development framework until 2025 was designed. It implies the construction of sports grounds, opening of specialized sports clubs and personnel training. For example, over 3 years, trainers and athletes from Kazakhstan have been enjoying the possibility to improve their skills abroad. The main emphasis is placed on young athletes. Last year, $130 million were allotted from the state budget for training of fresh talents. This money was used for the construction of specialized sports clubs. The number of sports facilities is growing from year to year. During the period of independence, 63 stadiums, more than 1,700 gyms and more than 30 sports centers were built. In 2011, we held the Asian Games. For this purpose, some modern sports facilities were constructed in Almaty and Astana. In 2017, we shall be holding the International University Games. Special attention in Kazakhstan is paid to involving of young people in sports. Because of that, sports grounds are being built near residential houses and schools. One example of this is training areas for workouters. According to Valentin, only in Almaty there are about 30 of them. The state and sponsors support local athletes at all levels. We like these grounds. We shall be glad to participate in the competition in Shymkent in the end of the month. We are supported by federations, so we can go anywhere without worrying about where we can get money for that. I think that it is a great advantage. It is believed that within 9 years, 35% of Kazakhstan population will be practicing some sport, and the number of specialized sports sections is expected to increase by 20% as soon as in the next year. There are 109 sports federations in Kazakhstan. 40 of them focus on Olympic, 7 on national, 3 on disabled and 59 on non-Olympic sports. Valentin and his team also plan to contribute to sports development in Kazakhstan. They want coaches to work on sports grounds and explain newcomers how to train in the right way. The team plans to open training areas in other cities and participate in competitions outside the country. We should demonstrate that we are engaged in contests not only in Kazakhstan but also in CIS countries. The most important task now is to promote this sport in universities and schools. Earlier we had some problems which did not allow us to train. Currently we have plans which we are going to realize in 2017-2018. The sports industry and economy much depend on major competitions. Usually at least a dozen of countries claim to host such events. The possibility to obtain sponsorship, attract tourists and enhanced economic growth force countries to battle for the right to host World Championships as well as Olympic and World Games. Thus, the Asian Games were held in Kazakhstan 6 years ago, and the Winter University Games are to take place in Almaty next year.
Во многом, так сказать, авторитет страны зависит и от того, как ее спортсмены выступают на международной арене.
Credibility of our country much depends on how its athletes perform in the international arena. Athletes do not manufacture goods, but they form a country's image. Of course, this affects the country's relations with the world community. In other words, we create a positive image of our country, which is quite important nowadays.
Взаимоотношения нашей страны с мировым сообществом. То есть создается позитивный, положительный имидж нашей страны, что сейчас в наше время немаловажно.
The Sports Academy is to be opened in the capital of Kazakhstan by 2025. It will also become the National Training Center. It is also intended to attract investors for the construction of sports facilities and enterprises specializing in the manufacturing of sports equipment, clothes and branding materials. Millions of people all over the world do sports. The number of supporters of a healthy lifestyle is growing from year to year. Nowadays, fitness is considered to be the most popular sport activity. In the US and Canada, it is practiced by 56 million people. Only in the United States, there are about 40,000 fitness clubs. Almost 40% of people in Europe go in for sports. Germany is the country where sports are especially popular. Almost 8 million of the country's residents visit fitness classes. In Sweden, for example, hockey is available for everybody. There are a lot of volunteer coaches who train children. The state supports athletes from childhood. More and more European countries invest immense funds into sports development, but each state focuses on a particular sport. The fashion for sports affects the industry on the whole. Thus, a new trend has emerged, which is characterized by experts as global. This is a production and sales boom of sports clothes. This market is growing by 20 to 30% annually. Earlier, many brands never manufactured sports goods. However, nowadays, as a result of the fashion craze, they name their models clothes for sports and life. It is remarkable that sports clothes are often more expensive than usual ones.
Стоимость спортивной одежды складывается из стоимости бренда. Если это брендовый Adidas.
The price of sports clothing is based on the brand price. Such brands as Adidas, Reebok and Nike invest a lot of money in promotion, design, brand books, new models and their modification in accordance with style and fashion changes. Therefore, companies have to invest funds in order to be the best. So it often happens that such clothes are very expensive.
Для того, чтобы быть на пике. И поэтому очень часто одежда очень дорогая.
World experts are confident that in the nearest years, the rapid development of the sports industry will continue. Immense funds are invested into sports clubs, construction of new sports facilities, and holding of major events. And such investments are paid back. For example, the International Federation of Association Football spent $2 billion on the preparation for the 2014 World Championship and its profit reached €4 million. It should be also noted that winners of major competitions can also earn good money. States reward Olympic medalists. First place winners are paid from $100,000 to $250,000. Silver medalists get from $10,000 to $70,000. Often, athletes are awarded a house or a vehicle. Sports change not only economies but people's lives. For instance, Valentin never thought that he would be practicing workout. He remembers that earlier he could not even do push-ups, but his friend motivated him and several years later he became an example for many boys who lived nearby. The most interesting thing is that when we take part in some competitions or just train, guys come up to us and ask for advice, and we tell them what to do. In summer we brought here loudspeakers and turned on music. We gathered a crowd of people and trained together. New sports emerge in the world on a regular basis. Bossa ball is one of them. It was invented by Philip Eijkmans from Belgium. Inflatable bouncers on the playground distinguish it from volleyball. These bouncers allow athletes to jump higher and hit the ball in the air. The game's objective is to throw the ball to the opposite side of the field in such a way that team rivals would not turn the ball away. By now, this game gained wide recognition destination in many countries, including Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, Israel, Turkey and Egypt.